Guys, this is Jacob from Wager Me This. I got a $300 bankroll. I want to show the way I play the short game, or one of the ways.
Two videos at
So,
once.
let me finish what I'm doing.
You're doing two videos at once for no reason.
Alright, so, of course, if you have to play the pass line, we're going to play the pass line. Alright? But that's if you want to shoot. So I'm going to play this like I'm shooting. So then I'm going to go 96 or 64. You could go 64 if you want, but I go 96. Oops. All right, so now it's 4 rolls, not 4 hits, 4 single rolls, and then I come down. And then I start a comeback progression for 3 more rolls. That way, at least if it does go a long roll, at least I have some more numbers, maybe make some more money. All right, so here we go, coming out. 4. All right, so remember, we're working. $27 winner. I just rack it. All right, so that's roll number 1. Yo. That is roll number 2. Remember, just because it ain't a hit doesn't mean it ain't a roll. 8. $21 winner. That's roll number 3. We're looking for our last roll. And a 3. Okay. So now we're going to turn our bets off, take them down, whatever you want to do. And I start with $10 in the come. 7. Okay. So I turn the bets off at the right time. This is going to pay this. And we're going to start over. Alright. Now it wouldn't be our shot no more. So we're not going to have to play this bet. So we're just working. 5. Okay. $21 winner. Rack it up. Next roll. 8, 6, 2. Again, it's $21. Part of the reason why I like doing the 96 as opposed to 64 is that the 21 is a lot better than the 14. It's a whole unit better. You know, like you can put a whole nother unit out there. All right, there's the 9, so that's another 21 bucks. And we're looking for one more hit. 7, we didn't quite get there. All right, so that one didn't go 4 rolls. Yeah, or it did, it was on the 4th roll. All right, I'm gonna leave that 96 up there and I'm just gonna drop 100. Get 4 back. All right, here we go again. Same thing. We're working. 9. Okay. $21. Mark the 9. 4. All right. $27. Let's mark that 4. 2 more rolls. There's back-to-back 4s. All right. $27 more dollars. 1 more roll. 12. Okay. Still counts. Right now we turn all these bets off and we start in our come progression. It starts with $10. There's the 8, okay? Moves up. Now we do $15. That way if a 7 rolls here, we're going to lose that, but we're going to win that. 7, okay? And then rack all that up. Turn them bets back on and just repeat. working on the come out. Now, every now and then you're going to get whacked on the come out. It's going to happen every now and then. All right? But it still happens the same amount of time on the 0.7 or the 0.7, basically. I just go 4 rolls because the average length of roll dictates that I think I should go 4 rolls. All right, so there's 27 bucks. All right, next roll. 4 back to back. Cool. The 4s and the 10s are always nice because they pay just a little bit more money. All right, a 10. That was not a 6. That was a 5-5. All right, 27 bucks. We need one more roll, then we'll go into the comeback progression. 10. 2 4s, 2 10s. Couldn't ask for nothing else besides to press, right? If I'd have been pressing, I'd have made a bunch of money. All right, now we're going to turn them off. $10 in the cup. And 7. Just spilt my water on my craps table, which I do pretty regularly. Not a big deal, it's just water. Alright, so we won on that comeback. Didn't lose nothing else. And, I mean, maybe I'm just getting lucky here and without the come out 7s, I don't know. But remember, I did get knocked off early once. I don't think these dice are rolling anything weird. I think it has to do with the average length of the roll. I'm betting that it's going to go at least 4 rolls each time here. And it's working out that way. All right, here we go. Working on the come out. There's the 9. I don't think the rolls are doing anything special. I mean, it is rolling 7s. $21. Bracket. Next roll. 5. $21. Rack it up. We need 1 more or 2 more rolls. There's the 8. 5 3. Again, 21 bucks. And our last roll, are we going to hit it? 8 again. Okay, perfect. Let's drop $4 and get 25. I'm running out of reds here. Get 100 for this. All right, start our comeback progression. Start with $10. Here we go. Hard 10. 5 5. It's going to travel up there. All right, now a $15 comeback. See, you're not at risk until you quit putting combats out there. All right, there's a 5. Okay, so now we have 25 out there at risk in combats. So we're going to go to 30. And what we're hoping is that we actually hit some of these numbers. 7. Or if a 7 comes like that, that was a 7. We lose 25, but we win 30. Right here in the come. Alright, I don't think I got to show it anymore. I'm pretty sure everyone gets the idea of what's going on here. So let's count it up. Okay, that's another 100 right there. Maybe it's not. Huh. I'll put that there because I don't think it worked right. Okay. 300, 400, 500, 550, 565, 585, 590, 95, $597. Okay. pretty good, not too terrible. Never, we're only going 4 rolls, and then after that we were limiting our risk. On the 7, if it would have went, I only go 3 combats. Once I get 3, if I get 3 numbers up there, then I just sit there and wait and hope to hit one. And the reason being is because if you make it to the 4th roll, and as long as you've hit on 2 of them, as long as you've hit, because you got a 10 and a 15 and that 30, all right? So you're almost even at that point. If you hit on 3 of them, you actually make a little money, even if the 7 comes right after your 3 combats. And if you hit on all 4 of the numbers before you go to the combats, you make a little more money. But usually, when it gets to the point that it goes on a long roll, and them combats start coming into play, I usually hit a few of them if it's on a long roll. I usually don't go 3 combats, then all of a sudden the 7 pops out. It usually don't work that way. Usually either it's on the 1st or the 2nd combat, the 7 comes, or it goes longer than that and I make a little more money. And what I usually do is whatever combat gets knocked off, I replace it. So if it's the $10 one, I replace the $10 one. If it's a $15 one, I replace the $15. If it's a $30 one, I replace the $30 one. And so that's kind of how I do that, and I just wait it out if it's a long roll. And I've actually ended up making quite a bit of money like that a few times. And now I don't always use this strategy. When I use this 4 rolls and down strategy, I usually use it when the table is just packed. And I don't want to wait an hour to roll the dice again before I try to make money. So I use it and I play 4 rolls and down on nearly every shooter, unless I just get smacked a couple times early. Now, normally I don't. Normally, every 3rd or 4th person, it won't go 4 rolls. But usually it gets to 4 rolls, maybe 5 rolls, 6 rolls. It stays right in that range quite a bit at the time. And now, I don't always use this but usually when the table is jam-packed, I use this, especially if I can't get my spot. Because I'm just very spot specific when I play. I like to play on the left side of the stick man. I will play on the right side of the stick man. But when I play on the right side of the stick man, I play don't strategies because I shoot a different kind of shot. And now, that's not to do with me being a dice setter or anything like that. I just think over my time of playing and the amount of hours and rolls I've put in, that I've seen consistencies on both sides of the table. And I'll actually play stickman left in the 2nd spot too, if it's a 12-foot table. I don't mind that. I'll play it the exact same. But when I'm on the left side, almost every time I just play big money across with a don't hedge. It's not a hedge for me. I play the 7. And so, like, if I walk up there, I don't play with $300 nearly as much as I used to. Now I usually play with $500 or $600. But if I come there now, I mean, almost every time, this is what my first board looks like. And if I'm shooting, of course, I have a $50 don't pass. I mean, the huge majority of the time, this is what I do. I don't hedge it. I don't do none of that. And I just play this way when I'm shooting the dice. Now, the second the dice are not in my hand anymore, I play differently. And it's not because I think I'm any kind of special shooter or anything like that. I just know from consistency and the amount of time I've put in that I'm going to roll 7, 8, 9 times, so many more times than I'm going to go early. So usually my first couple rolls are pretty good, and then I get wore out and I don't play the same no more. Hopefully by then usually I'm gone. But I do believe in dice setting. I just don't believe in it as like an art that is completely solid and always replicatable. I think that dice setting does affect the outcomes of the dice a little bit. But you have to be really good at it, and you have to be able to hit the same spots at the same trajectories. Because I mean, here's something to argue against dice setting. Okay, so let's say you're throwing the 3V, all right? If you take the 3V and you don't throw it, but you get right where it should land, and you just put the force you think it should hit with, and everything. So like this, all right, and do that and see how many times that it doesn't cooperate. All right, see, we just rolled 2 5s in a row, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. But so that's one of the things about dice setting that's kind of fictitious, I think, is that you can replicate the same thing if you go right up to it and just play it from 10 inches. See, fourth roll was a 7. So I mean, I don't know how real it is. I do think that there's validity to it, but do I think that it's any better than just playing solid strategy? If it is, it's such a small difference that unless you're a professional, and I know, especially the guys like Same Bet that went and saw them professional dice setters and went through that class and stuff, that they saw a different level of it. But as far as I'm concerned, I haven't met anybody personally that I think can replicate 10 rolls over and over and over and over. I've met people that can do it a lot of the time, and myself, I can roll 8, 9 times a lot of the time. Enough that I'd set the dice, enough that I do this. And I use the 3V, but I also use a stacked 2 set with the aces facing me. And this is the set I use when I'm on the right side of the stick. And the reason I use this is what I do with it. I face the aces toward me, and I stack them 2s to where I can see a dot. And I hold them dice really close together, and I throw them all the way to the corner of the table and try to hit it in the dome. And I try to make them land like this as close as I can, because then I feel like it'll stick that 2 down for me. And then I just want it to roll over. And I can make it do it about 1 out of 10 times. But the other thing that this dice set does that's really great is if you just get it tilted just a little bit, you get a lot of 12s and 2s. All right, so if you get it flying through the air and it just tilts just a little bit, now you're opening up the way they're going to roll to them 12s and 2s. And believe it or not, when I get to them situations in the all tall small, I instantly go to this because I've seen it replicate a lot on them 12s and 2s. More than it should. But that's my dice setting. That's as far as my dice setting goes. I don't overly practice it. I do throw a little bit at home, right? And I stand way at the end of my craps table and I just take all the dice I got and throw them down there and then move them, throw them down there and move them, throw them down there and move them. One of the things that people that practice throwing dice don't do, and I wish they would do more of it, is they don't do this. They don't put bets all over the table. You know, stuff you're going to see. You know, they need to do that because that's what's going to happen. And so your dice are going to smack off them. So you're going to get a better idea of what dice are doing. You have to put them bets out there, man. Unless you're playing on a table that is completely void of people. And you can do that. You just have to go at certain hours of the day. And you'll find almost every casino will be very slow at one time or another. And so you can find it then. But most of the time, when I go, unless I go in the mornings, even when I go in the mornings, there's a group of older guys and a couple of professors that are always there, right? And they usually only have one table open, so I have to play with like 3 other people no matter what. Now, don't get me wrong, these guys all stand right by the stick, just like me, so you don't have to worry about their chips very much until they start placing place bets and stuff, and then the chips are a part of the game. But anyways, that's just my thing on dice setting, and I wanted to show the 4 hit, or the 4 roll and down thing I like to do. And believe it or not, that 4 rolling down will work. It's a very good beginner strategy. You just have to have the guts to put money across the board. And that's a lot of beginners don't like to do that. You know, they show up with $300 bankroll. They want to put 96 of it on there at one time, you know. So drop down to 64, or if you're at a $5 table, go to 32. I mean, it works the exact same. It's just a smaller denomination of pay. So, yeah. Anyways, this is Jacob from Wager Me This. I'll quit rambling. I'm just going to upload this one. I'll go live. I got to work a couple days, guys, and then I'll be back and I'll be live again. Hopefully this stuff will end and we can go back to the casinos pretty soon. That would be really nice. And y'all be looking out for my trip plans, going to Bronco Billy's, catching up with Let It Roll. I hope other people show up. I'm bringing the stimulus check, and that's all I'm bringing to play with, and I'm putting it all on the table. I mean, every bit of it will be on the table on my first shot. So now, not all of it will necessarily be at risk on that first shot. I'm going to play a bunch of bets, but it's all going on the table. And my plan is, if I win, try to win some, and I'm going to try to tip out pretty heavily, because it's money that I don't really need, and I don't necessarily really want it, because I'm just going to end up having to pay it back later anyway. So, anyways, like I said, this is Jacob from Wager Me This. You guys have a good day.